Hey, welcome back. I had something happen. Somebody stopped by, good friend, visited for a while. Wasn't able to finish tackling the charge pump and the torque converter. But then this morning, went to the parts store and the bearings are in, so I can actually assemble the whole drop box and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But what I wanna do first is I'd like to pull this apart because my curiosity is killing me. I won't do this yet until I get the drop box done because I feel like I'm gonna need a table. Yeah, so anyways, good day. I'm happy to see that the bearings are correct. They will fit like they should. So what I need to do is clean this all up and press it on here. Put a little bit of hydraulic oil on and start assembling that. And then I'll go through and see, hopefully I have the right shims and hopefully everything specs out the way it should. Let's release that. So if you guys noticed, when I went through, I tightened everything from the top down. And what I'm trying to do is, instead of bouncing all around, I want to make sure the cover kind of folds itself down like this. It's so big that if I tighten on that side and tighten on this side, you might get it to warp, you might get it to change a little bit, and you don't want that. So I'm torquing everything down to 120 foot-pounds, that's what it says in the book, from the top down to the bottom. So I'll torque a little bit on this side, jump over, torque a little bit on that side, jump over, and just keep going back and forth until I get to the bottom. All right, in the book here, they talk about the drag that needs to be adjusted on these bearings. And how you adjust the drag in this drop box is they've got shims behind these plates. If you remove the shims, the plates are able to push down on the race of the bearing and tighten up the bearings. The problem is how do you adjust it? Well, in the book, at least for these two and this one here, you can do the same thing because they got threaded on that hole right there. But you take these little pins out, sorry, plugs, and you put a rod and it goes down and threads into the block of the gear. And then what you do is you put a inch-pound wrench or a torque wrench or of some sort, and you pull on it. Now, what they want to measure is how much drag is it going to take to pull that wrench over, and that's what they want to figure out. If it's hardly pulling at all, like you just can not even a sweat in it, then it's too loose. If you're reefing on it, it's too tight. So they want to get that clearance about right, because there's no way to actually get a feeler gauge in there and check the slop. Now granted, here's another thing to factor in. You have the gear here, 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 and here with all these different bearings and the output shaft. When you rotate one, you're rotating everything else, which is causing drag on all the different gears. So to get a reading, somehow they figured out, well, if you just pull it to this point, that's about what we want. So here's my dilemma. Because I didn't change anything besides that one bearing on the top, which actually will probably be a little bit tighter because it's new on the one side, all I did is take it apart, clean it all up, get all the chunks and the material and junk out of it. We've got an air leak. Got it. And put it back together with a new gasket. Now the gasket's slightly thinner than the original gasket, so already this is a little bit tighter. So do I go through the hassle of trying to check everything when it pretty much spec'd out just fine, and I can actually take my hand and spin the output shaft back and forth. So it's not like it's tight, but is it loose is the question I'm wondering. I don't know. I got to figure out what I want to do. Do I go the lazy way and just put it together and run it? But you have to also think about this. This loader is not in a mining facility. It's not being used every single day. So it's not a lot of high use. It's just running around the farm here and there, doing some loads, doing a couple other things. So will this be fine for the next 40 years for us, or will I have problems because I was lazy? I know what you guys are going to say. I don't know. Should I be lazy and just frustrate a couple of you guys out there? I don't know if I'll sleep well at night. Maybe. We'll find out, I guess. Okay, I decided I'm going to be lazy. I'll torque them down. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the bearings as they are and just see how it goes. I think it's going to be fine. I thought about it. This thing really doesn't have that much wear on it. At least it doesn't look like it, so I'm good. Now I'm pulling apart the valve bodies on top to clean them all up, and look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? Springs inside there that are just coated with happy dust. Well, it's kind of more slime right now. It's not dust, but anyways, yeah, just cleaning it up, making sure it's all good to go. Take those, put them back on top, bolt them down, and then I just have to finish putting together this would be the input side of the transmission. So this is the back of the, actually this would be the front of the loader, this would be the back of the loader. So, but yeah, I gotta clean that one up, put it on, and then I gotta clean that one up, put it on, and we're getting closer to wrapping this thing up. And then I gotta go back to the torque converter and finish cleaning that up, inspecting that, and seeing how it looks. But so far, things are going okay. Keyword, okay. Now I went ahead and cleaned this all up really well, blew everything out, and put some more oil back into it, made sure it's all lubricated so there's no rust or anything in case for some reason it sits for a while. Hopefully this won't be sitting too long. But it looks good. And all of the shutter valves, or what do you want to call them, the valves in general, they're moving just fine. There's springs, or they're not stuck or anything, so I think I'm gonna put it on here. And the gasket, well, it actually looks pretty decent. And the thing is, I don't know if I can get another gasket. So I'm just gonna have to put this one on, and then hopefully it seals and we don't have any problems. If we have problems, we'll figure that out as we go. But anyways, I'm gonna put that valve body on here, and then that way I can be done on the top of this. There's some pretty good sized grooves in this housing. I don't like that. And so I don't know if I put that back in the loader. If I can't find a pump, then I have no choice of putting it back in, but that's a pretty good sized groove. And what you can happen, and a lot of you guys out there that know this better than I do, but correct me if I'm wrong, if you have little cracks and like gouges on the gears and on the housing, what happens is your oil will hit those little sharp edges or those grooves, and it'll cause a cavitation, which then amplifies more damage. So if you got a little bit of damage, it doesn't take long and it'll increase that damage. So yeah, I was kind of like excited because I thought this hydraulic pump, or the charge pump, looked brand new, which I think it kind of was, but the contaminants that ran through at some point on this torque converter, it didn't like it. There's a couple part numbers on this pump. I'm gonna go online, see if I can come up with anything, and then do some research, call a couple places. Might have to take this down to a hydraulic place and see if they can find one or do some kind of magic that I don't know and rebuild it. Usually when the housings are wore like that, they don't rebuild it. I mean, it's possible that you can get oversized gears, just a tiny bit bigger, and then they bore these out to match, but when you're said and done, you're talking a really big chunk of money to do all that. I don't know if that's even possible, but it might be. You never know. So anyways, yeah, do some research and then come back to this. Okay, well, there's that. Now, I did find a charge pump on eBay, and it's never been used. It's original. just one, and I've called a couple dealerships, and basically I think I'm gonna have to buy the one that's on eBay because I don't think anybody makes those pumps anymore. So anyways, there is one pump available. We're gonna try to get it and see how it goes. Let my brother take care of the bidding war while I take care of this. Okay, let's do this. Let's find out what do we find inside this thing. I'm curious to see. So basically, I will have to look in the book and see how to fully take everything apart and clean it thoroughly. But I'm not seeing anything crazy. The oil that's inside here looks pretty clean, and I didn't add oil to it, so I think that's clean oil. Still need to clean it up though. Make sure it's thoroughly, there's no contaminants and stuff in there. The bearings on this one, I mean, that feels really good. I can see a little chunk there. Just a little bit of residue that got in there at some point. But I don't see, there's like no speckle of grit or glitter of anything. I think we're gonna be safe on this. At least I hope so. But yeah, well, I'll have to pull it all apart and then go from there. I don't know how you pull this thing apart. Figure it out. Cool though. And that's something. Boy, there's not much wear at all. There's I mean, to me, it looks like it's almost brand new. There's no scarring of particles of material going through this thing and getting chewed up at all. At least at this point, I'm not seeing anything. And now I understand that transmission over there, when I was pulling it all apart and cleaning it, it was just silver glitter, weird chunks of stuff in that whole entire transmission. And after looking at the torque converter, how it's set up, whatever torque converter was with that transmission failed and just chewed itself apart, sending aluminum filing or chunks and pieces through that transmission. And obviously they must have scrapped the loader because the torque converter failed. They probably couldn't get parts for it, or engine failed and they scrapped the rotor. I don't know, but it's to my benefit because I think we got some good parts here. Just to give you guys an idea how new this is, here's the bronze piece that lets these two slide against each other and run. It's not even hardly wore. Literally, somebody put a bunch of money into this thing, barely ran it, and then for whatever reason they scrapped the rotor, or the loader. So it's a huge plus for me because, well, we got a nice torque converter, so yeah, there's that. So what I'm doing now is slowly starting to assemble after cleaning all the parts, assembling it back together so I don't get more dust and contaminants in the system. Make sure that brass piece, there we go. Now, one thing I did is I made a mark, a little arrow on this one and a little arrow on this one, so I can match the two together. That way, in case for some reason it's machined and they're slightly off balance or whatever it might be, or slightly warped, they'll match. At least that's what I'm trying to do. Keep them back to the way they were. Whoa, my finger slipped. There we go. Well, there goes the nice new torque converter. Okay, now I gotta put bolts on it. Tighten it up. All right, I guess I am finished enough at this point where I can't do anything else besides one thing. I'm waiting for a seal right here for the input shaft of the transmission. It should be in tomorrow. Once I put that on, I'll button this up, and then basically this transmission sits until we're ready to put it in the loader. And then the torque converter, what I'm gonna do here, obviously it looks kind of sketchy because it is. Put the torque converter on top of the transmission with a couple blocks. We're gonna strap it down, put plastic over this, and I sealed it up with duct tape on the bottom, or I don't even know what to call it stuff anymore. It's not even duct tape. And anyways, I think we're good. So the torque converter looked good, and transmission looks good. We just need a charge pump, which still working on that on eBay. I have a big feeling that we're gonna get that one, and I just hope we get it, because otherwise we got to find a way to run hydraulic pressure to the transmission to run it, which you could run it off of the side of the engine. There is a port there for the steering pump. But then I got to figure out what kind of pressure am I looking at, what kind of pressure reliefs. I got to do some research, and then what kind of gallons do I need, figure out how many revolutions. It's a big mess. If we can just get a charge pump to put on the torque converter, that's the simplest, easiest, so we'll go that route if we can. But if we can't, well, you know us, we'll figure out a way. If there's a will, there's a way. And I'll tell you right now, I'm terrified. I've never done that before. Did I do it right? I don't know. Did anybody really teach me? Well, not really. So if I screw up, I'll find out. So, but you know what? I'm not afraid to try. And I hope many of you, and in fact, I hope all of you, are willing to at least try and accept the fact that you might fail. But don't let fear stop you. Another thing too is when you look at other people and say, man, I wish I had their energy. Man, I wish I had their ambition. Oh, they don't look tired. Oh, they're tired, but they push themselves and they keep going. Successful people still push forward. And you, I'm talking to all of you out there, can and will be successful if you push yourself. So anyways, I'm gonna strap it, tarp it, and shove it aside for another day. It does feel really good though to have that all taken care of and peace of mind. I'm happy. And to give you an idea, without the charge pump, not including buying the transmission or the torque converter, but the repairs that I've done so far, I figured with the bronze, the seals, and some silicone, a few other items, I probably have about $450 in fixing this thing. And that's not including buying the lathe or buying the transmission, which was like $6,000, I think is what Nick paid. The torque converter housing, I thought we paid $1,200 for it to be shipped here. That was years ago. So I don't know, but we got a setup here. It's pretty ugly, but it should work. Good day. All right, guys, God bless, and stay classy.